Samuel is the head of smart metering, managing 60 people, 46 million pounds annual revenue, and 6 million smart meters, having joined the company in 2015. Suez is a world-class leader in the smart metering solutions for water, gas, and other smart cities related services. So Samuel will be presenting enhancing smart metering data to create value-added services. Samuel. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Nice to be here with you today. So just a quick word on Suez. We are a waste and water company, service company, with obviously a strong focus and stronger than ever on the environment. And our ambition and strategy is to become the trusted partner for circular solutions in waste and water. I don't know if you followed the news. We've been going through like significant changes over the past years with the takeover from Veolia of a large part of the company. We still remain, I would say, a significant company with 40,000 people worldwide, 9 billion euros revenue, and a balanced positioning between waste and water, waste representing about 60% of our turnover and 40% being in water services. We have a very strong footprint in France, which is like 70% of our turnover, but still we operate in about 40 countries around the world, so still a quite global footprint. UK being one of our also strong countries, especially in the waste, but also we do significant services in smart water, and we operate services. So Suez is a utility company in many cases, but we also provide services that quite often we develop for ourselves to third-party utilities. And this is typically the case for digital services and smart metering. So this one I will skip. Now focusing on smart metering, as it was quickly mentioned, we have over 6 million smart meters deployed, mainly in Europe, but also a bit beyond, like in Australia, Macau, Singapore, and so on, as you can see on the map. We have 15 years experience in this area. We started our first deployment, industrial deployments in Paris in 2007, so quite a long time ago. And we now have more than 50% of our deployments that are in fact operated outside of Suez companies, again, serving third parties with our solutions. And so now we'll like focus on what we do with smart metering and how to really extract most benefits or try to extract most benefits from smart metering. So I think we heard there is a number of sort of basics that you want to do when you do smart metering that you can find pretty much everywhere. One of the key topics being improving your customer relationship. Obviously, having a meter and having a smart meter that will bring you daily insight on water consumption is an opportunity to interact with the customer in a different way than you did before. And so you will be able to provide him with daily consumption, with leak alerts to help him save money and reduce bills. You will be able to bill him accurately and on a more regular basis. So really like customer relationship improvement is one of the fundamentals and of the basics of smart metering. You can also look at your operational performance and network performance by measuring precisely what comes out of your network and also like arranging your network in DMAs and so on. You have a daily view on your network efficiency. You can detect large leaks in your network also much quicker and much easier. You can intervene more efficiently. So again, you improve your network performance. And finally, you can secure your income. You can detect frauds. You can detect unbilled properties. You can detect blocked meters and so on. So smart metering is also a very good way to secure your income. When you do visual reading once a year, there is quite a long time when in fact you don't know what is the real consumption and what will be your revenue at the end of the year. And when you have smart metering, you now know on daily basis what is your consumption and what will be your revenue. So I would say these are the basics. I would say that everybody probably considers and is implementing when they do smart metering. I'll try to now focus on how you can go a bit further through data analytics with smart metering. the first thing being, again, on customer engagement and customer focus. So we said, okay, you can follow your consumption, you can send leak alerts, but in fact, with data analytics, you can go further and bring a quite detailed view to end users on how they use their water. And this is a typical graph of how we can display this consumption, and we can split the water usage in 3 main categories in this case. So there is the, I would say, standard and usual usages that are here, are like about 1/3 of the usual consumptions. Then you have this like clear blue area that are sort of unusual, exceptional usages that are in fact due to watering. So this was a summer period, and people started to water their garden, and in that case, it used like 13 cubic meters of water to water his garden. And finally, the red part is a leak. So in this case, again, quite a significant leap because it's 11 cubic meter over a month. And we don't just say it's a leak. We say so how big it is, and we also translate it, again, as it was mentioned, into euros or pounds or whatever to make it money worth, so that the users will realize how much not only water they're wasting, but also how much money they're losing through this leak. And this is a strong, I would say, behavioral levers to get people to call a plumber and to fix the leak, to know that this costs, like in that case, like around 30 euros a month. That will make like close to 400 euros at the end of the year if they don't fix anything. Going even further, we can give a detailed insight on your shower efficiency and say what is the typical flow of your shower. So some of you may know, why would you want to do that? You're trying to, because there is a fine balance to find with privacy. But why we want to do that is that, in fact, if you look at the hot water usage in the house, it's 40 to 50% of the global water usage. So it's a key usage in terms of volume of water usage. But it also represents from 20 to 30% of the energy usage of the house. So we increasing prices in energy, saving on hot water, nonetheless gives you savings on water bill, but also significant savings on energy bills and significant savings on CO2 emissions. And if you look at a shower, in fact, it can range, if you take like an eco shower with a very efficient shower head and a short duration, you can shower and get clean with 24 liters. If you have now a guzzling shower and you take long showers and so on, you can have a shower with 120 liters for the same, we'll say, result in the end. So if you now translate this on a daily behavior basis for an household of 3 people, at the end of the year, you will have saved more than 100 cubic meters of water, moving from a guzzling habit to an eco shower habit. So this is, and again, because the price of energy to heat the water, well, was till last year about the same price as water. Now with energy increase, well, twice the price of water. So in 100 cubic meters of hot water, you have probably like 400 pounds of water and 800 pounds of energy. So saving this hot water brings huge benefits in terms of economics for the end users, but also in terms of environmental footprint and in terms of energy savings. So now, with this focus on shower efficiency, you can tell the end users, okay, you have a, like in that case, a quite high, not super high, but a quite high consuming shower head. And if you moved toward an efficient shower head, you could save around like 268 euros per year, which again is a driver for change. Going further, as a utility, being able to identify those households where there is a not efficient or very high usage for shower, you can push like water efficiency kits through, for example, that kind of smart showers that are very efficient to the relevant customer. So again, being able to address the relevant customer with the relevant insight to really drive water consumption down. You can apply the same kind of principles that I just showed on an individual basis to a more global approach understanding the water consumptions on, well, either your complete area or your smart metering area or whatever. So understanding consumption trends to take concrete actions to reduce water consumptions. So as I showed you, using data analytics, you are able to detect the leaks at an household level. Now, if you aggregate that at the level of your operations, you will be able to know what percentage of your global water consumptions is driven by, well, customer side leakage. And, well, over the few millions meters where we did put that in place, we typically find like 6 to 8% of global water consumption is in fact due to customer side leakage. This is quite significant because if you think of the effort that as utilities we put into managing the leaks on the network side and to reach levels of network yield to like 85, 90%, and when you reach 90%, you start to be very good. And gaining percent becomes very complex and very costly. Knowing that post-meter, you have like 8% of leakage of water that just is wasted for nothing is a huge amount. Now with data analytics, what you can do is sort and segment your leakages between small and large leakages. So you can define your own criteria, but typically you will end up in a 90%, 10% of leakages. And those 10% of metering points with high, large leakages will in fact represent more than 2/3 of the global leakages, which in the end gives you like 0.5% of your customer base leaks represent 4 to 5% of the global consumption in leakage. And so on those 0.5% of customer leakage, you can take proactive action and you can save like 4 to 5% of your global consumption. Again, 0.5, and again, in terms of channels then, when you want to communicate massively, you use letters, you use like emails, you use apps and so on. But for those 0.5% of very high leakage, probably you will take your phone and call the customer to tell him, do you realize that you have currently a leakage that is like, in those cases, like hundreds of pounds every month of wasted water. So I gave you like a quite like detailed view on how to reduce, well, post-meter leakages. You can reduce, as I mentioned, environmental footprint through customer demand management, especially for hot water and showers and so on. I went a bit fast, but it's a bit small. But if you look at these graphs, there is like this tiny yellow part on the top that are those exceptional usage that typically matches watering in hot periods of the year. So through data analytics, you can also extract the part of water consumption that is used for watering and irrigation, which in period of droughts and drought restriction, can you give you also an insight on is the recommendation from the utilities applied? So do people really stop watering or do they keep watering? And eventually, if you want to go down this path, identify who is still watering. And anyway, for all those actions that you take and all the communication that will in place, you can measure the impact of every action taken and learn and improve on a continuous learning basis. Because you get everything you do, you get this feedback almost like a real time, I would say, on a daily basis. On every action that you take to understand consumption patterns and see how it evolves based on your different campaign. So all this is allowed through smart measuring and data analytics that you put on top of the meter data, efficiency in domestic usage, global view of post-water leakage, measurement of watering, vision of residential occupancy. This is also something that you can do. And more to invent, because in fact, this is also the nice thing with data, is the more you learn, the more you understand your customer, and the more services you can invent on top of smart measuring data. Thank you.